Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to a new episode of Games and Names. Our sport for this episode is MMA, Mixed Martial Arts Fighting, and our star guests are two of the top fighters in Egypt and abroad, Muhammad Salim and Muhammad Gamal. So let's get to know more about MMA fighting and about Salim and Gamal in the upcoming minutes of Games and Names. Mixed martial arts (MMA), sometimes referred to as cage fighting, no holds barred (NHB), and ultimate fighting, is a full contact combat sport based on striking, grappling, and ground fighting, incorporating techniques from various combat sports from around the world. The first documented use of the term mixed martial arts was in a review of UFC 1 by television critic Howard Rosenberg in 1993. The question of who actually coined the term is subject to debate. During the early 20th century, various interstylistic contests took place throughout Japan and in the countries of the four Asian tigers. In Brazil, there was the sport of Vale Tudo, in which fighters from various styles fought with little to no rules. The Gracie family was known to promote Vale Tudo matches as a way to promote their own Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style. A precursor to modern MMA was the 1976 Ali vs. Inoki exhibition bout, which ended in a draw after 15 rounds, fought between legendary boxer Muhammad Ali and wrestler Antonio Inoki in Japan, where it later inspired the foundation of Pancrase in 1993 and the Pride Fighting Championships in 1997. Now, according to MMA Portal, the hundreds of MMA promotions around the world produce MMA events since the UFC came to prominence in mainstream media in 2006 with their 2007 merger with Pride FC and purchases of WEC and Strikeforce. No companies have presented significant competition, and the UFC is regarded as having most of the top-ranked talent. Fighters usually get contracts in the UFC after competing successfully in other MMA promotions from around the world. My name is Muhammad Salim. I'm a mixed martial arts fighter. I started practicing the sports in the year 2016. I was 15 or 16 years of age at the time. I have participated in 7 professional tournaments, 2 boxing championships, and a grappling cup where I came first. I was the first player in Egypt to make it to the main event and main carte. In the upcoming period, I plan to get a belt from international organizations and not just from Egyptian organizations as a step towards the UFC, God willing. I cannot evaluate myself, but as for my team, I believe that it is the best in Egypt. We have demonstrated that. We have great champions that have recorded unprecedented performances inside and outside of the country, like Captain Islam Sieha, who finished off a world-class opponent in just 2 minutes in the famous Brave tournament.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all. burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance, not the life I want to live. I want to take it all, standing tall, fear outweighed the person you are. Oh, break out.
The MMA championship that was held in Egypt 2 years ago, UFC 30, was the biggest in the history of Egypt. And really, in the last couple of years, MMA has really taken great strides throughout Egypt. I was the first in the championship and just about to get gold 2 years ago. I prepared in a perfect manner. I presented myself again in a very good manner. I was winning the match until the end of the third round, and I don't want to say why I lost this match. I will not comment on that, but I'm very satisfied with my performance. The MMA event in Egypt, UFC 32 years ago, was the greatest in the history of the country. I mean, the audience that was there, the social media was involved, the sponsors were involved. In fact, the international organizations that supervised that tournament knew the importance of my match personally and that of Captain Salema and the other matches. These are moments that I will never forget. The preparation for the tournament, the warm up, the game itself, the and the spectators that were there on hand. As I told you, I'm very satisfied with my performance. As for the results, that is a different matter. That is in the hands of God. But again, I played very well. It was the best event in the history of the country. The matchmaking was perfect from start to finish. And I want to tell the organizers of UFC 30 and my colleagues, the MMA fighters, that if they keep going on like this, then MMA in Egypt will definitely have a great future. I want to thank the audience, the spectators of the game, those who root for me and those who don't. And I want to tell them that I'm making a comeback soon, so wait for me.
Always waiting for the night. Never lost 'cause we can go where the light shines brighter. We're always waiting for the night. So come with me, and we can go where the light shines brighter. Always waiting for the night. Never lost 'cause we can go where the light shines brighter.
My opponent didn't surprise me. I knew his style. I was prepared. I watched his game over and over. But in the end, he beat me. Again, as I told you, I was very convinced I was the better fighter, but that was the decision by the judges. So, congratulations. Um, I believe I'm still on the right path. It's only a matter of time. You will see me soon in international and not just local organizations tournaments. My goal is the UFC, and my goal is not just to participate in UFC competitions, but to be one of the best fighters in the 77 kilogram division in the UFC, one of the best in history. That is my dream, and I believe it's only a matter of time. My name is Muhammad Gamal. I started MMA fighting in 2008 and compete fighting in 2011. I played eight professional matches and I got the UFC belts in the year 2016. The belt stayed with me for 5 years. 3 times I successfully defended it. So I consider that my name can be written over it forever. I am the number one ranked MMA fighter in Egypt and the Middle East in my weight category, above 61 fighters. Thank God for that. I also want to thank my team who helped me a lot to reach that level. Now, my evaluation for myself is that I'm a good player. Of course, I'm not a perfect player. I have deficiencies, of course, like any other player, but I can tell you that the deficiencies can always be worked on. Now, in all of the times I have lost, sometimes it was just bad luck, and other times I lost to a fighter who had better IQ, and in IQ fighting, I mean, and I worked on that, and I always work on my technique. So for me, working on my deficiencies is the best way to move forward. Now, as for my team, it is the best in Egypt, and this is definitely a fact. We have a great number of professional fighters fighting abroad. We have Ahmed Faris and Amr Meher in the ONE FC fighting, the biggest fighting tournament in the world. We have Alaa Mansour doing a great job in the Ukraine. We have also Islam Siaha in UFC fighting, and Ahmed Amir, who has the Brave belt, and a great number of players. I don't want to forget anyone, but we do have a lot of players also upcoming, and that many of them are Egyptian champions, many of them are highly ranked in the Middle East, and certainly have a status globally. Until very recently, MMA fighting was not known in Egypt, and that, of course, was until the staging of grand tournaments here in the country recently. Now, a lot of fighters have left their original martial arts sports and joined MMA fighting. Now there are a lot of sponsors in the game. A lot of organizations are involved, local and international organizations. There is more media attention to the sport. There is some money in the sport. So the sport is gaining momentum here in Egypt. We just need to have more and more teams formed to compete with us here. And I'm sure that very soon you will see international fighters coming to camp here in Egypt, just like our fighters camp abroad. So I'm positive that MMA is gaining strong ground in Egypt at the moment. As for my very last showing, now I'm satisfied with my performance in that match. I played very well until the very end of the third and final round. My opponent was really special. He was distinct. He deserved to win. It was my mistake that I accepted to fight him on a very short notice. I only had a 3-week notice. I accepted the challenge. I prepared in only 3 weeks, but I needed more preparation for that distinct opponent. Yet I was satisfied with my performance. In fact, my match, I believe, was the biggest one in the entire UFC event. And I promised my audience, many of them who I felt loved me, and I believed I was their favorite. I promised them that I'm coming back soon. I'm going to regain my belt, and I'm going to regain it to stay. I also salute the UFC and tell them that I believe that there is great future for our sports.
Always waiting for the night. Never lost 'cause we can go where the light shines brighter. We're always waiting for the night to come with me, and we can go where the light shines brighter. Always waiting for the night. Never lost 'cause we can go where the light shines brighter.
Some of the unforgettable moments I had during my match in the tournament came before the fight itself, where a number of our teammates were participating in the event. I was watching them, I was rooting for them, and for me, it was as if we were in practice sessions. There was no pressure. There was joy. My heart was pumping when I entered the ring, and the audience. The audience is really the one thing that I remember the most. It was something that I will never forget. I will also never forget the fact that they cheered me on and rooted for me even after I lost. You know, as if I was the winner. So their appreciation for my game and my talent really made me happy. Now we all work together as a team. We all prepare together. We all fight together. We're like brothers in the team. And as long as one of us wins, this translates into a victory for all of us. Now, the message I would like to relay to my team is that the future will be better. We will have three belts in three different weight categories here in Egypt, and we will also have great successes abroad. Now, at least half of the year, for 6 months, we will be camping to prepare ourselves technically and physically. So I'm just saying to my teammates that we will have time for nothing but fighting. I'm here, and you will always find me here. I would like to tell my audience that I will be back. It's true I lost my belt, but I had the belt for 5 years, and I intend to regain it. And I want to tell my dear audience, my dear fans, that I intend to make you see something that you have never seen in Egypt before. I'm not just going to regain my belt, but you're going to enjoy watching me fight.